no matter how long you've been married, no matter how healthy your marriage is, and no matter how open your communication is with your spouse, there will always be things that you're going to discover about each other as you go along on that journey. So today we're actually going to open up possibly a few cans of worms here, because we're going to be asking each other, what was your first impression of fill in the blank? I'm gonna dive right in with my first question for my wife and ask you, what was your first impression of me the very first time you saw me in person? Which obviously would have been at the Reagan International Airport.
My first impression when I first saw you, I was like, dang, he's short. It just came right out of I was like,
short.
Yes. You know, I have to be honest. I was like, dang.
I'm like 2 inches taller than you are.
I know you are, but you know, in that season of my life, I was constantly on heels. And so when I saw you, I was like, okay, I do not want someone who is short, and I wasn't sure if, you know, you were going to be taller than me or you were going to be shorter than me when you came closer to me. But as you approached me, I realized, I was like, oh, he's actually not short, he's tall. So thank God for that. But even if you were, I would have been okay.
You must not have gotten over it completely, because now that I think about it, you told me to get elevator shoes for our wedding.
Okay, ladies, right?
So this whole thing is just like opening up here. I'm starting to understand what's going on.
Ladies, on the wedding day, I wanted my heel to be a little longer, and I was afraid that if you stood next to me on the wedding day and you were too short, it would have been awkward in the pictures, you know. And so I told him, I was like, get some elevator shoes. And I learned about elevator shoes. I didn't even know they were a thing, okay? I learned about them by seeing it on a few celebrities. I was like, oh, it's a thing in Hollywood. And so I went online and looked for elevator shoes, and I found one. And I said it to him, I'm like, buy these shoes so that when I put my heels on, you won't look too, you know, short next to me, even though you were taller than me. But the heels would have projected me so high that the pictures would have looked awkward. So I'm like, and I feel bad now. I shouldn't have done that, but
it didn't hold me back, clearly.
No, it did not.
I was a little short, but I overcame the odds and I got the girl anyway.
You did.
So in full disclosure, should we reveal what our height actually is?
Yeah, we should. We should.
All right.
So I'm 5'6".
Okay, and I'm 6 feet.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Apparently that's what you wanted me to be. No.
You know, I didn't want you to be 6 feet. At least I wanted to be like 5'10". But how tall are you actually?
I'm actually 5'8". Yeah.
He is 5'8".
So I'm a couple inches taller than my wife.
Anyway, I love you just the way you are, by the way.
Oh,
I just a disclaimer. I love my husband just the way he is, and he loves me just the way I am. But yeah, that was my first impression.
Okay.
Ooh, total honesty in that one.
All right. Oh, I'm a little bit nervous now because I'm gonna have to answer a question honestly that you've got for me next.
So what was your first impression of me when I decided not to introduce you to any of my friends? How did you feel?
Okay, well, that's actually a pretty interesting question, because I was in a previous relationship, extended relationship, where I was kind of hidden. For some reason, she didn't want me around her friends, she didn't want me around her family, and that's a terrible red flag. At the time, I just wasn't very matured, I guess, in relationships and very confident, so I just kind of excused that sort of nonsense for a really long time.
Yeah.
Until I finally realized, no, I'm playing second fiddle here, and this is just not okay. So I kind of had some issues with that. Yeah, and so when she was kind of keeping me hush-hush at first, from her friends and her family, I thought to myself, I've been here before. And so, yeah, it did actually kind of make me a little bit worried. And I think I even mentioned it to you. I got a little bit frustrated at one point, and I brought it up, and she was like, oh wow, this kid's got some trauma. But no, I actually also kind of rationalized it too. I was like, okay, maybe she just doesn't want to introduce me yet, because in case this doesn't work out, she doesn't want to go back and have to say, oh, you know that awesome guy that I had met? Well, okay, it's not gonna happen. Because keep in mind that from the moment we met on Interracial Dating Central all the way until the moment we got married and said I do, that's 4 months.
Yes.
That's all it was. So this was like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
So for her to kind of be a little bit cautious about introducing me made some sense to me. So I hung in there and I waited, and I realized pretty soon actually that now everything was cool. She was actually just implementing wisdom into the situation.
And another reason was that in my life, anything that I love and I cherish, I want to secure it and I want to protect it as long as I want.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that the people around me were not right. They were good people, you know, but there is energy in the air. And sometimes when you announce something good too soon, it ends up turning to the worst.
Well, they can get into your mind with their own opinions and make you doubt.
And make you doubt what you had.
All right. Well, my next question for you is, what was your first impression the very first time we kissed?
Ooh, boy, oh boy, boy, oh boy.
Things are getting a little bit hot.
Juicy. So we had dinner at this nice restaurant called the Charter House in Alexandria, Virginia.
Yeah.
And after we finished the dinner, we got on the ferry to go across the river to the wharf to check out the restaurant and just for sightseeing, okay? Yeah. So as we are on the ferry going, it starts drizzling. Oh, it felt like a Hallmark movie. It starts drizzling and there are two sides to the ferry. You can sit inside or you can sit outside.
Up on the deck.
Or up on the deck.
Yeah.
So we chose to sit outside because the lights were shining on the water. It was too beautiful to sit inside. Mm-hmm. So as we are sitting there, the rain, you know, as it's drizzling on us, Ted takes the umbrella, opens it to the side a little bit and tilts it and leans it on me and plants one on me, okay? He plants a good one on me and I'm like, oh wow, he's a good kisser. At that very moment, the issue about the height left my mind.
Oh, that was it. It was the kissing. It was the kissing that overcame the inches. Yeah.
So the issue of the height left my mind. Anyway, he was an amazing kisser. Oh, I don't know if I should say that. My voice is getting low because I'm getting excited, you guys. Anyway, so that first impression when it came to the kiss was, I would say 109%.
Well, I should have known that you liked it because at that particular time, we were actually traveling via Uber.
Wherever at we one went. Point, so, after we left the ferry, we jumped in an Uber,
Yeah, so when we got back to Alexandria from the wharf, we hopped into an Uber and we're in the back seat obviously and we're watching some videos on YouTube and I don't really remember what we were watching so much because Miles Monroe, yeah. He was trying to sermonize us but we were clearly distracted because we're in the back seat like making out. Couldn't keep our hands off of each other, so I should have known that she thought the kiss was at least okay because she kept coming for more.
Oh my gosh, Ted always throwing me under the bus, but
no, not at all. It was I mean, it was great for me.
It was good for me too. So the first impression when it came to the kiss was 109. I would say that again. It was good. So you got that.
All right. Okay. So hit me with your next question.
What was your first impression when I first told you I needed you to help me send money to my family?
I actually didn't have any problem with that, as a matter of fact, because by the time you had already been doing it.
Yeah.
And you'd probably been doing it ever since you came to the United States,
yes.
Sending money back to Ghana to her family.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had already communicated that to me.
Yeah.
And I had thought to myself previously that, wow, you know, you get off of work, you've got your paycheck, and you go to send money back to your mom. I just thought, wow, that is just an amazing quality in this woman, you know? And I realized too, though, that people get into these long distance relationships from people with other cultures. And sometimes the woman or the guy is actually only just using them for their money to either send to their family or to enlarge their own estate.
Yeah, own estate.
And so it's actually just one big scam. It's the love scam. And it's really easy to fall into that trap.
Unfortunately, so many of it are happening right now.
Yeah. And so I can't deny that maybe the thought sort of occurred to me, maybe just for a second.
Okay.
If I can say that. But mostly I was like, no, this is actually great. And I was honored because my love for you actually inspired me to want to help your family. And I think that's the way it should be. All right, so my last question for you is, what was your first impression the very first time you saw your ring when I proposed to you?
So, you want to know this?
Is it bad?
It's not bad, but listen, okay. So
a little bit nervous now.
Prior to Ted proposing to me,
I overcame being short. I can overcome whatever this is.
Anything that comes. Okay. Prior to Ted proposing to me, I sent him a picture of 4 different rings, okay? Tell me why Ted ignored every single one of those rings I sent him. So when he proposed to me, I looked down and I saw the ring, but my mind was like, whoa, you're getting married. So the ring design didn't first even pop to my mind. It was like, oh my God, you're getting married, you're getting married. That excitement was going on deep inside of me. But after I had, celebrated on the inside. I'm getting married. He proposed. I'm getting married. I'm excited. And, I'm so grateful for him and stuff. I take a look at the ring and I'm sitting there. I'm looking at it in my mind. I'm like, dang. So all the rings I sent him, he ignored all of them. Like it kept coming in my mind. It's like, why? He ignored the rings I sent him. Like, why will he get me this design? I sent him the design that I wanted. And I kept looking at it. You know what? A thought came to me like, Vero, be grateful and be quiet. It came to my mind. Be grateful. This is a beautiful ring. And once I accepted that it was a beautiful ring, you guys, I didn't want any other ring. I still want one of the rings I sent you. So on our 10-year anniversary, you can get that for me.
Okay, yeah.
But
yeah.
I love my ring. You guys, look at the diamonds. There are diamonds all around it. And then the bigger diamond is right in front, in the middle of it. So I love my ring now. But when
Plus, the inscription
yes,
inside the ring.
Yes, the inscription inside the ring is actually one of the reasons why I fell in love with my ring. We had our first date in a place in Virginia called Alexandria. And we went to the wharf, which is across the river. And Ted, being so caring and so gentle, had this inscription put in here from Alexandria to the wharf. I've never been with anyone that pays so much attention to detail and is so caring. It takes someone who cares to even have an inscription like that, to have a memory like that.
Well, that was the journey, and you got a little miniature version of the story.
Yes.
Because that was our first kiss too. And
yes.
so to me, traveling via ferry that night in that magical atmosphere, just in that intimate moment with our first kiss and everything from Alexandria to the wharf, it seemed to symbolize the transition.
Yes.
The transition from being single to falling in love and being united.
My next question when it comes to first impression is, what did you think when it came to my physical appearance when you first saw me?
When you saw me and thought I was too short, and then I saw you, what did I think then?
Yes. You are so mean.
To be honest with you,
why do you have to go back to the past?
To be honest with you, I actually kind of thought to myself, boy, she's a little too tall.
Oh my goodness, Ted.
No, actually, I had never seen a vision more beautiful than this woman the very first time I laid eyes on her. She was wearing this emerald green dress, and she literally looked like a queen that just stepped out of some sort of magical fantasy realm. And I actually couldn't hardly believe, because I'd seen pictures of her and I thought similar things. I thought, boy, she's just like remarkable. Like, this is just amazing. And then to actually stand in her presence the first time, I was like, wow. Dreams really do come true, don't they?
Oh my goodness. You are so sweet.
Well, this didn't turn out to be nearly as painful as I thought. I thought, well, maybe there's going to be some revelations here that really change this dynamic. I don't know if I'm going to get over what she's going to say, but no, actually, it was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun for us doing this, and we hope you enjoyed it too. Thank you so much for always watching our videos and supporting our channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe today if you haven't yet. Have a blessed day, everybody.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.